You got all the cards, my friend. Don't pretend that you've been dealt a bad hand. Okay, well, I'm Tommy Shearer. The name of this whole thing is called The Truths of Existence. Now, this is the second part of the mystery of existence. And I think I'm on. I hope so. I don't see my face here. And so, let's see. I think I'm waiting for somebody to zip on. That'd be good. And then I can start. Maybe I'll sing a song until then. But anyway, this you could play this anytime, so I might as well just go into it. When somebody comes on, I'll reiterate what I've been doing. So, truths of existence is the overall thing, because these are the actual truths of existence. What is going on here? And this one is the mystery of existence, part 2. Part 1 went kind of like this. The mystery of existence is the human spirit. That is the mystery. I hear a lot of people talking and they're just kind of skirting the issue. They don't get it, because the mystery of existence is wrapped up in this thing, which isn't a thing, called the human spirit. Now, I told you in Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard discovered this in the early 50s. Now, L. Ron Hubbard, I'm going to do a whole talk on Ron, greatest researcher that there ever was, and a brilliant, smart, and a very kind man. But more than that, he was ruthless with regards to his research about man. And this is how he ended up discovering the existence of the human spirit. And that is the mystery. And so I'm going to read you a little bit about what Ron says that the spirit is. Because why is it a mystery? Because you can't see it. In actual fact, it's not part of the material universe. That's why nobody's seen it and really understood it until Ron did. Here we go. I'm going to read this. Now, he made a different name for it because it had so many connotations that were misleading or incorrect or just a little bit off and stuff. So when he discovered it and all its attributes, he renamed it, and he named it a thetan. And that comes from the Greek word theta, which is thought. And so you add an N, it becomes a noun, thetan. So a thetan is the spiritual being. And that is the secret to this universe. And here we go. Ron says, the thetan is described in Scientology as having no mass. No mass. No wavelength. Everything has a wavelength, but not a spiritual being. No energy. He's not made of energy. He's different. And no time or location in space except by consideration or postulate. A postulate is a decision that you make about the future. I'm going to get a pizza. That's a postulate. I'm going to be a star. That's a postulate. So that's the basics of spirit. Has no mass. This is difficult to understand because everything that we know about is in the material universe, right? Well, the spirit is not. And that's why he's so hard to understand and why nobody really has gotten it until Ron did. No energy. He's not pure energy. I know in Star Trek they had these advanced beings and they said, he's pure energy. No, a being is not pure energy. He is more of a nothingness, really, but with all the potential to do these things. He can. Let me read this. He says, "The spirit then is not a thing; it is the creator of things." So that's what Ron says, and he's pretty bright. So he's not a thing; he's a creator thing. Now, what can this being do? This being has these abilities. He can obviously take over a body, and he's done that. And the being is you, and you have done that. Now, he can experience things through the body, like sensations, play, all the qualities that you perceive and enjoy in life here, he can perceive. So this being has these attributes. He can decide things. He can create things. So that's the mystery. The mystery is this being. What the hell is going on here? Well, you have a being, and he inhabits or takes over a body, and then he lives through that body, and he experiences all the things that a body experiences, and he enjoys that. And so that's the mystery. Now, he's here and the body's here, right? So when the body dies, he continues on. Very simple. You have the spiritual being, who's this thing that you can't see, and he's not a thing, remember? And so he'll go on and go on. And so he's immortal. This is a fact. And so he's had lives before, and lots of them. So this is the basic mystery, is that you have a spiritual being. He gets involved with the body, and he lives a life, and then the body dies, and he gets another body, and he goes on and on and on. So this is part 2. That was really part 1, and I'm going over part 1, very important. Part 2 is this. The problems, the difficulties that he has had, and you must see he's in a difficult situation since he doesn't know what's going on. That's not a good situation. So I'm going to go over some of the things that he's had difficulty with, and so you'll see that clearly. And so I'm going to read something that Ron says about some of these difficulties. Here we go. I don't think we have anybody listening to this. I'm going to have to advertise it more because this is important. Here we go. The individual, the person, the actual identity is the living unit. It is modified by the addition of a body. And by the addition of a body, it is brought into a certain unknowingness about its own condition. That means the being gets involved in a body, and when he does that, he's brought into a condition of unknowingness about who he is, separate. He loses that. He thinks he's a body, and especially as time goes on. All right, now this one is the amount of time which he has spent on earth, and this is the spiritual being, you, and the number of deaths through which he has gone have brought him into a state of forgetfulness about who and where he has been. So that's one of the things that causes him to, this is called A New Slant on Life. It's by L. Ron Hubbard. I recommend that you buy books and read a book, because then you'll get it straight from the horse's mouth. And so that's that. Now, we are going to get into this forgetfulness. And when a being connects up to a body, he actually is more degraded. It becomes degraded. It's a degraded state for the being. And he loses his understanding of who he is as a being separate from the body. And so This is one of the problems that he's gotten into. So he forgets he's himself, and so it's to some degree he's in a trap. He's in this ongoing cycle of life after life after life, and when the body dies, then he understands better who he is. But then he's in this cycle tends to continue, and I'll get into that later. But we're going to go over some more of the difficulties. So the first difficulty he has is connection to a body causes him to forget who he is, forgets his identity as a spiritual being, separate, immortal, and all the great qualities that he has. But when he gets in a body, he kind of gets degraded and loses a lot of this. Another thing that causes, and he's had difficulty with, is things that have happened to him. Now, he's been around a very, very long time. He's had a lot of deaths. He's died tons of times. These things he carries with him. And this also helps to suppress him and have less knowingness and be less bright, you might say. So things that have happened to him, right? So he gets killed by somebody and then he makes a decision about that and he's all upset. It's really bad. And then his next life, this stuff tends to weigh him down. And so that's one thing, things that have happened to him. And you have to understand, it's a long, long time. Lots of things have happened to him. They're not all good. All right. Now, another thing is that things that he has done. And these weigh a little bit heavier on him because these are things that he's done. If he goes off and he kills somebody or does something bad, then that weighs a little bit heavier with him than things that have happened to him, because this is something that he has done. And so you have this long, long, long track. He's done a lot of bad things. And so after he does these things, he carries that with him, and that weighs him down also. So we get into this situation that he's in today, which is he's in a body and he forgets that he is a spiritual being. And this isn't a good state. And so in Scientology, I'm going to read this. That's what they do, is they get you out of this state. And I'm going to read you this. The mission, this is by L. Ron Hubbard, the mission of Scientology is to raise the knowingness of this spirit to such a degree that it again knows what it is and what it is doing. Okay? Now, Scientology does this, and it's the only thing that does this. So that's pretty much it. You know, really, really, the truth of existence is this spiritual being. It unravels like so many things. The next one I'm going to do is what are we doing here? And that's almost a silly question, really. But the thing is that the being has gotten entrapped. You might say enslaved to some degree, because there's some other things going on too, other than the three things that I mentioned. And he's in a rough state right now, but Scientology can get him out of that state and does it routinely. And so that's the great thing about Scientology. So I'm going to take questions now if you have any. I'm going to have a sip of my cappuccino. And so I see that I don't have a lot of people. Oh, there's somebody. I am accepting questions, and I'm not sure how this all works. He's gone now. So, all right. Well, that's the information. I hope it's of help. Now, you can go to my website, and my website is at the bottom. Click on the website. It would really behoove you to get on this road so that you could get kind of out of the trap. And and also utilize Scientology. And Scientology is the only thing that can do this, and it's Scientology is vast. It has all this information about so many things and so helpful, so many things, marriage, money, many things. It's helped hundreds of thousands of people, and it's something that is definitely worth looking into. Okay, cool. Then I see that there's nobody really on, so then I'm going to end this right now, and we're going to probably have to promote better. Okay, thank you.